Okay, so before we start to create our first page, I know we've checked out the customizer part of WordPress, but there are a few plugins that you want to install right at the beginning, just so that you make sure that you have your security in check, and that all the pictures you upload are already optimized if you haven't done so already up front, and a few other things that just make it a bit more, a bit easier to actually work within WordPress. So the thing we're starting out with is a security plugin. The thing is, depending on what host that you're using, it could be that the host with the one-click installation of WordPress adds a few other plugins to WordPress, which is fine. Depending on what it is, you can keep it or not. I know that SiteGround, for example, installed something, but yeah, it's up to you if you want to keep it or not. If things like Jetpack, I personally would not use, because from experience, it really slows the site down. So I had a page where it was really intense how the difference between the speed of the site. So Jetpack is a tool from WordPress that connects your WordPress.com page to it connects it to the WordPress. It connects your WordPress.org page to the WordPress.com page to some extent, and it has different things that it does. But what it mostly does is, as I said, personally, really make it smaller, because whatever you have there, like is it analytics or security, you can install plugins that do just that, and it doesn't really make sense to have a lot of things in addition to what you need when you don't need it, because that also totally just slows your site down. Also, if I'm not entirely sure how Jetpack actually does work when it comes to GDPR compliance. So what I would suggest is that you always disable and uninstall Jetpack, because for whatever else you need, you can use other things. For example, analytics, it's smarter to use Google Analytics, because that's what it does, analyze, and you don't need something that does all of it. And I would always question the all-in-one tool, if it really does each thing well. But as I mentioned, we're going to install a few plugins. As you can see here, there are already a few activated. I'm going to update the one that's not active right now. I would always suggest that you keep your plugins updated, because of security reasons also. So if you have a very old plugin that hasn't been updated in a while, it's easier for hackers to actually hack your website. So if you want to add a new one, you click on plugins, and then you can either click on add new right here or click on add new here. So first things first is I'm going to install a security plugin. I personally often use WordFence. So that's what we're typing in here, WordFence. It's a firewall and malware scan security suite. There is also all-in-one security. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, all-in-one WP security and firewall. I personally started to move more towards the all-in-one security firewall, but for most of my sites I actually do use WordFence, so I'm going to install that one for now. Again, you have to make sure about GDPR compliance, depending on where you are, but that's a whole other topic, so we're not going there right now. So once you've clicked on install now, that's what it does. And you can see once it's installed, you can also automatically click on activate right here at the top. So that's what we're doing. And it is now activated. You can see you can add your contact information, which I'm going to do now. And I'm going to properly use my email address. Then you would say if you want to receive the newsletter. I don't want to receive the newsletter, it's too annoying, I get too many anyway. You have to click on check this box to agree the terms and services in the privacy policy. And if you qualify as a data controller, you need to the data processing agreement. So they have that here immediately, so you can follow up here on that page. So then click on continue. We're not going to use premium, so we're using the free version. That's why I'm clicking on no thanks right here. And then you can see on the left hand side, WordFence is already there, and we can have a look at the dashboard. Click on next. It shows you a bit around what it can do. And what it does at the beginning is that it will listen to all the things that you're doing on your website. So if you work on it regularly, what it does first is checking out what tasks are normal for your behavior on your website, and everything else is then blocked. So it could happen that some tools don't work properly because you haven't used them while WordFence was still in learning mode. So you can often put back WordFence back into learning mode so that you can execute another task then, so that they learn that this is something normal. But anyway, we're going to enable the auto update because it makes sense to have the security plugin always automatically updated. And you will see that here is what's happening. You can have the firewall here. Again, protect sites from attackers. Brute force protection, firewall options. So you can check out a few different things here. As you can see here, you can switch to learning mode. You can optimize the firewall. For that, we're going to download the HTSS and click continue. And now it is optimized. And also there was a message at the top that would have told you that you should do that. It depends on what kind of server you have, if that works, but there are different variations, so depending on what you have, you can change that up. Brute force protection, that's I would technically depends on how often. So when somebody brute force attacks your website, they try to really log into your page a lot of very often in a short period of time. So I often reduce the login attempts because 20 is quite a lot. So if you don't have a very secure password, I wouldn't let people try for too often. So what I often do is 5 times, because I have LastPass, I know my password. And otherwise, if I realize I forgot my password, then I can always send it to myself. But if people that don't know my password try it, why should they try 20 times? Again, about how many forgot password attempts, I would also reduce that to 5. And you can say how long the user is logged out when something like that happens. You can immediately log out invalid usernames. It does make sense, because why should you? Why should someone actually try to log in when the username is wrong? It will block the IP address then. So yeah, that's what you can do. Adjust your settings there. I'm going to save that changes now, and we're going to continue with a few other plugins. So something that I also would always install is Yoast. Again, you have to click on Add New and then type in Yoast, because that's a plugin for SEO purposes that optimizes your pages and your posts so that you can add SEO information per each thing and optimize all of that. So that's why we're using this one. As I said, as you see, it's installing here. Takes a while. Me. Takes a while. And now you can activate it. What do you need here? You can see here there is already the Yoast, what's it called, icon right here, and on the left hand side again you can see SEO. So let's ask the thing what's wrong. So we have to configure this for the first time and check out that we go to the configuration wizard, and that's what we're going to do. So we're going to configure it. Then it say my site is live and ready to be indexed. Then what does it represent? What is it? Something else, because we're going to be a podcast. And we're a company. Caring. We're not providing the company logo right now. Then you can add all the social platforms. So we're caring. Just username, are you sure? But okay. Instagram. We don't have the rest, so we click next. I'm not sure if that just username is correct, but when they say so. Okay, so then you can decide what you want to be visible in the search engine. So should the posts be visible? Yes. The pages? Yes. The projects? Not really. So I don't want that now, but you can always change it up later. Yes, it will have multiple authors. And then you can get the Google authorization code. Search Console is the tool that actually helps you, your site's traffic and fixes issues on your page, and generally helps you to optimize your search analytics within Google. That's why you have to sign up for Google Search Console with your Gmail account. Ooh, that looks new and shiny, even though I wanted to switch to Geek Herring. So it says welcome to your new Google Search Console, and we click on start. So I know that I don't have that because I want to add the property. And when you're in Google Search Console, you're going to add the URL or the website that you're using as your own property. And that's what I'm going to do now. I'm entering the S and click on continue, and I'm verifying the page. So there are different ways that you can actually add that. You can do that by downloading the file and uploading it, or by using an HTML tag, change DNS settings, do it through Google Tag Manager, or through a Google Analytics account. What I'm going to do now is click on done, just so that it technically it is added here now, but at the moment it obviously is not verified. So I'm going back to WordFence, and I'm going to get the Google authorization code. And we need to blank that out then. When you verify it, it will spit out a code. looks similar. Adding that here and clicking on authenticate. You can click a profile. We choose the one that we're working with now, even though the site is currently not the correct one. But since we're moving it entirely to the other domain once we're done, I'm going to add that here already. Click on next. Then I'm going to use the proper URL. No, I'm not. I don't want to sign up for the newsletter. Sorry, reading really helps. I don't want to upgrade. You can go through the basic videos, but once you've done that, you click on next, and then you're done. Click on close, and now you've set up your Yoast SEO. As soon as things are not properly working, it will alarm you, like it will notify you at the top here. And again, you need to sign up for a Google Search Console account and with your Gmail account, so then you can connect the correct property to the Google Search Console. I will though turn it not active now. So I'm going to click on General, and we checked out the dashboards, the Webmaster Tools. And we're going to look around. Sometimes search appearance. There you can change everything that you've already entered, as I showed you before. The content types, which ones you would want to see and how you want those to show up. Then media. Yeah, we leave that as is. Archives, breadcrumbs, RSS, Search Console, smartphone, tools, yeah, you can see that here you can often, when there is a problem, you can either edit the Facebook preview directly within a page or a post. I'm going to show that another time, or within the general settings of Yoast. I'm going to leave that as it is for now, because obviously I'm blind and I cannot find it. But technically, we can also set the page to maintenance mode. For that, I'm going to install a new plugin. So we're going to add the plugin that will display a maintenance mode. There are a few out there. It really depends on whatever you want. I would always make sure that it's not a page or not a maintenance mode plugin that's too old or too little used. For example, that's already 12 months old. It is compatible, but 10 months is a long time. And I would suggest those who have like a lot of active installations and what has a good review, like good review, and it's not that old. 3 months is fine-ish. So we're installing that. And while it installs, we're again waiting for better days. And we're activating that. And now you see that this is not an entirely separate tab, but it's something that you can find in the settings. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put this in the coming soon mode. You can see that it says when you're logged in, you'll see the normal website. Logged out visitors will see the coming soon website or the maintenance page. Coming soon mode will be available to search engines if your site is not private. Maintenance mode will notify search engines that the site is unavailable. So that's what I'm going to do now. because right now we're unavailable, and that's just the plain preview site. So I'm going to save that now. You can click on the live preview page. You can see at the top that this is active. A live preview page is not a very pretty one, hence it's empty. Therefore, you have to scroll a bit further down and add everything you want to add. So I'm going to add the logo here. Save all changes. Did it save that one too? We will see when we click on live preview. So yes, here you go. There is the logo. There it says coming soon to podcasts that are near you. Yay. And again, we can click on a live preview page. It's not very pretty, but you can work on the design in the design tab. So you can change background image, whatever else you want to change here. But again, I'm not going to entirely change that one up. There is not a lot of options, but you can add some custom CSS code here if you fancy. And there is the advanced tab where you can add some header scripts, footer scripts, and whatnot. So again, that's what people that are not logged in will see when they go to your website. And it's an awesome plugin to have, because now it won't notify any search engine that we're actually available, and it will not tick a search engine off, depending on, because of the fact that we say it's geek herring and actually it's a totally wrong URL. Okay, so back to the plugins. So we have a security plugin, we have the SEO plugin, we have a maintenance plugin. Now I would suggest installing a plugin that optimizes images. Ooh. And that's called Image Optimizer. As you see, it's updated 3 weeks ago, so that's fine. And what that one does is that it checks whatever you upload if you're not optimized those for web. This means if you upload images that are still really big, because for web you don't need high resolution pictures, it's not necessary, it's not working, and it's useless. But you want your site to be fast, and when your site is fast and loads fast, then it will rank higher also in Google, which is one of many things that Google looks at when it considers ranking. Obviously it's not the only thing, but that's what it does. So you just have to really install it, and everything else happens then. You can resize pictures when it's necessary, but most of the thing, that's why I would say upload it before you start doing things, because whatever you upload after you've installed it, you don't have to optimize it later on. Let's read what it says here. Enable the support beacon, which gives you access to documentation, blah, 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 blah. No, I do not want that. And allow it to track plugin usage. No, I don't want that either, because I'm greedy with my rights to my website. What does it do now? Let's check a few things. You can disable different sorts of optimization images, but in general I would leave it at the moment as it is, because it will start to do the work immediately. Let's just see. I know that there was a way that you can actually optimize. You can see here, new images uploaded to the media library will optimize automatically. If you have existing images you would like to optimize, you can use the bulk optimize tool. For that, which is media and bulk optimize, this means whatever you've uploaded until you've installed the plugin, you can now bulk optimize here. But we're not going to do that now, because depending on how much I've uploaded, it might take a while. So, but that's where you can do this media bulk optimize if you install it at the later point. Then we can add some other plugins. What I personally really like, when it comes to site speed, I'm going to add that one now. So we want to, if you want to find out how fast your page is, there are different sites that you can test that with. I forgot what it's called. GTmetrix. Exactly. GTmetrix, for example. So you can check out how fast your website is. So I'm going to do that now with my existing web page. One thing that also, and they're going to check that out, how fast it really is. And if it's going to be bad, it's going to be embarrassing. But anyway, so one thing that helps improve the speed of your site is also when you allow your page to cache. Not that bad. General page speed score is A. And you can see here, leverage browser caching. That's all things weird things with my page. I'm going to check out if I can change a few things here, but maybe not that much. Anyway, my general page speed is A, and how you can improve that is by enabling caching too. So that's why we install, man, I've opened too many tabs. See how fast that happens, how quick that happens. Click on add new, and I'm going to install two plugins. One, it's called Auto Optimize. What's it called? Auto Optimize without blah. So you can see it speeds up your website by optimizing JavaScript, CSS, and HTML. No GS. It's obviously not JavaScript, but you get what I mean. Optimizes Google fonts, so all the good stuff that you can install, even though it says 6 months, because the highly used plugin. It will WordPress will notify you when a plugin is not supported anymore. So you should always check that out if that's ever the case. So for once we install Auto Optimize, how do you even say that? I'm not entirely sure. So that one is installed. You can see that here it's installed and working, and WP cache. We'll go to add new again, WP cache and we're going to take the leopard because leopards are awesome. And the Auto Optimize and the WP cache, fastest cache plugin, I think they do work really well together. And at least that one didn't cause a lot of problems for me, because I've already had pages where the pages had issues because of the W super cache, but maybe that's just a coincidence, so I don't want to down talk this one, but I like the leopard. So as you can see here, what is important is that it can happen now that while you're working on the page, the actual page in the front end might look weird. Then you will always have to clear the cache here on that side. You can delete the cache that it generated. So those two then are to make your site faster. You can see the leopard is also on the left hand side here, and the Auto Optimize could be in the settings, so it always depends. It's either in tools, settings, or plugins maybe, or it has a separate tab. But here you see it's in settings, Auto Optimize. So because there are a few gallery plugins that will cause issues, and you then have to add a code line, but you will cross the bridge when you get there, right? So yeah, and one tool that I really always install right at the beginning is a duplicate post one, because I don't know why that's the case, but WordPress itself does not support a duplicate post thing, so it cannot duplicate pages or posts automatically, which is a real bummer, because man, how often do you need that? And I want the one that does not only duplicate posts of any type with a click. I either use that one or that one. They're both. Let's do that one. Duplicate post. We're installing it. I'm not activating it once I've installed it because I want to show you first. Bah, that's taken for a while. Okay, so we go back to posts, right? So post is the area where you post all the blog posts when you have some. And if you hover over here, that's all you see. Edit, quick edit, trash, and view. Same with the pages. It's edit, quick edit, trash, and view. And when we go to the plugin section, click on install plugins. You then go to your duplicate posts thing. Plugin and click on activate. And then when you go back to posts, you can go there, hover over there, and you can see you have a clone. So you can clone the thing and you can create a new draft from that page. When you clone it, it also creates a draft, and new draft also creates a draft. So, okay, but new draft definitely opens the thing, which might be an issue. So it copies and opens it, new draft, and clone it just leaves it there. Then I'm going to trash those two. So if you have pages, I do often use that. If you especially have, for example, a blog post that you have and you want to just edit something, then it's sometimes easier to clone an existing thing to keep the layout. Or when you're working with Divi, you can always save the template of the page. But yeah, it's definitely something that I've used quite often, so I always am kind of irritated that it's not already there. So I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to remove that notification because I don't care about the mail sending thing for the moment. Yeah, so those are the few plugins that I would install right from the beginning. Everything else, and I would check out if you really want to leave the ones that are already there, if you want to still keep them. But those are the few that I'm installing right from the start, and often while you're working on pages you will realize that you will need more than the ones you've already installed. But those are the few plugins that I'm using from the get-go.